All right, welcome guys. This is a very special stream, no actual dual gameplay today. We're just going to be talking about the World Cup winners, Team Australia, which I am very, very proud and excited to be a part of after this morning's result. Well done, Zombie, getting us over the line in the tiebreaker this morning. First matchup of the tournament goes to a tiebreaker. Early this morning at about 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. my time, so not that early, but it's early for a Saturday, late Friday night for the Americans. Let's get some music going. That's not going to stay when I change the screen. Yep, all right, that's not going to work. That's a shame. I need the screen up for what I'm talking about. Pardon me one moment while I... share the stream. All right, that's that done. So here's what the plan is. I'm going to be talking through the team. I'm going to be talking through each of the players, what happened in the cup, how they contributed, results, figures they used, that sort of stuff. I'm going to pad for a little bit longer just to let some of the guys get into the room so we can have some discussion and get that going. So I found out some quite interesting stats when I was looking through all the teams and matchups. Oh, excuse me, my dog wants to come in. Hello, babe. Come on. Good boy. There were some interesting things like how some different people used a variety of figures in their teams. Hey there, Rob. Thanks for coming. Some guys actually used very consistent teams all the way through the tournament, and I'll be looking at that a little bit as I go through each of the players. A lot of the team used very similar figures throughout all their decks and throughout all their tournaments, except for like one exception, Zyatell, who is going to be the first one I'm talking about. Hey there, Melissa, welcome. So Zyatell, I'm going to start with. Zyatell was a Discord only chat, so I don't actually know them personally, unlike most of the rest of the team. They only played the one game for us, and it was unfortunately a loss in round one. They ran an Ultra Beast team, basically the only Ultra Beast team in the entire Australian run of tournament. But it's all the Australian games. The only Ultra Beast team there in Poipole, Necrozma, basic form, just basic form, Celesteela, Pheromosa, Nihilego, and Marshadow. Very classic Ultra Beast team. That's right, Rob. You're right. Sorry. They were supposed to play, I want to say round 3. I think that was one of the ones. Yeah, I think it was round 3. We only had 5 games in round 3 against USA. Yeah, cool. Hard to say whether it would have been a win or a loss. I don't think anyone was awarded the point because it was a dead rubber anyway. It was really only deciding top of the table, although that does matter in terms of positioning, who gets what in the finals and that sort of thing. But at that stage in that matchup, USA Australia, it was done anyway. I think USA won the first 4, and it was all over. All right, so that's ex Zyatell. Just the one play, one loss. Let's move on. Next player is D Pillow. That's Peter Liu. He went 50-50, 1 win, 1 loss. He got the win against Pacmol in round 1 against Latin America. and then went down to Brando, which is probably, fair enough. It's Brando. He lost to Brando in round 3 against the USA. Brando obviously going on to force the tiebreaker, and then was nominated as the USA's best player for the tiebreaker in the final. Peter used fairly consistent team. Across his 2 games, he only used a total of 7 different figures. So he used Lunala, Lucario, Alakazam, Marshadow, and Sableye in both games, and he switched Primal Kyogre for Kangaskhan one game to the next. Next up, I'm going to talk H2O Queen. She had a tough tournament. Let's be honest. I think the situation with the Mexico game just really rattled her and really threw her. At that stage, she was 1-1. She had won the game in round 1 against Jack from Latin America. That's his story, Melissa. That's what he says. Who knows exactly what's going on there with Brando's accounts? Let's be honest. Yeah. There was actually, because I was going back looking at group chats to figure out all this information that I'm bringing to you at the moment. And there was a little bit of discussion in one of the other chats, a little bit of, I think someone was blast. Maybe the Latin America game, I think someone, or maybe it was Chile, someone was kicking up a bit of a stink about which screenshots they had to send, and that they were complaining someone didn't send the in-game, winning screenshot and only sent the screen with the dual ID. It was either Latin America or Chile. I can't remember which one, but yeah, that was drama. There seemed to be just drama in almost every game. It was the situation with Mexico, and then all the drama with the Brando's accounts in the grand final match. There was the situation against Europe. It's a minor thing, but with my duel in that one, where my opponent went in with a different IGN, and I thought I'd been sniped. So it was all a bit confusing and a bit of a mess. We had to replay that duel. So after the dramas with Mexico, unfortunately, H2O Queen went on to lose that one against Mexico, and then lost her grand final matchup as well against Ulysses, which it's Ulysses. He's one of the best players in the game at the moment. I saw he's up over 4,000 in his league rating at the moment. So absolutely no... she copped some hard matches. Let's be honest. Kalik, Rafa, and Ulysses were her 3 losses. And yeah, she copped some really, really tough opponents. Let's be real about that. She was fairly consistent with a bit of a core group, and then she floated around with some other spots. So she used Sableye, Marshadow, and Primal Kyogre in all 4 of her matches. Ulysses is really good. So it was really rough for her. Lucario and Dawnwings got 3 duels each. Dawnwings obviously will be, I think it is 4.5. I saw he had a game against Devani recently. I saw in featured. I think he was up about 4.5. Dawnwings obviously was heavily used at the back end of the tournament, obviously because it was released during the time frame of the tournament. It was part of a release. I can't remember if it was like maybe week 2 or something. Obviously wasn't that present early because it wasn't available, and then obviously with it being up the top of the monthly points, only the sort of the best players, or the richest players, or the players that put the most money into the game were getting it. So Dawnwings comes in a lot more at the back end. H2O Queenie managed to get it in 3 games, used Duskmane in 2, and then she had a bit of a floaty spot. Poliwrath got a duel, which was in her win. Only player to use Poliwrath in all the Australian teams, from what I've seen. Also, Drifloon which, despite being a meta figure for quite a long time, didn't get that much airtime or game time, sorry, in the... Yes, yeah, Queenie did play 4. She used Dawn Wings in only 3 of them, though. I think she didn't... I don't think anyone had it in round 1. Yep. So 1 win and 3 losses for Queenie. Drifloon, yeah, despite Drifloon being a pretty solid meta figure in the lead up to the World Cup, didn't come up very often. In fact, I think Queenie's the only one from the Australians who used Drifloon for the whole tournament. Also had Vibrava for 1 game and Tapu Lele. Vibrava was used quite a lot across the board, and Tapu Lele actually got a few duels, particularly... Well, I can't say particularly. I know you use it a lot, Rob, but I think you only used it once in your World Cup matches, just for the 1 duel. And I used it in my first one as well, just for that extra star on the purples. And which one? Haha, of course you are. You're always doing that. Tapu Lele? Yeah, Lele. Yeah, even it's a main one for you, but I think you only used it once in your World Cups. Queenie used it once as well, and I used it in 1 duel as well when it was part of my league duel. Next we're talking about is you, Rob D Rocket, finished up the tournament at 2 wins, 2 losses. Given that the 2 losses were the first 2 duels, good recovery, good on ya. Lele is awesome with Psychic decks. That's the extra star is just, solid. Yeah, that's true as well. No, you're right, Rob. Yeah, particularly that game against Gig. I think you streamed that one as well. So yeah, that's fair. And you said you weren't going to duel after that one either, but oh well. Another one, yeah. Unfortunately, only in an attacking sense, Melissa, with the gold turning white, but it is obviously gold, especially with the Z moves. Getting Tapu Lele's fairy Z move. Exactly. Having that gold disappear basically gives it no counter unless someone's got unless you're attacking like an Alakazam that's been evolved all the way through from Abra and it's got like 20 stars on one of its attacks. So the only way you're going to counter it, Tapu Lele, Twinkle Tackle. So probably just as well that Twinkle Tackle isn't the greatest. It comes in clutch, let's be honest, but it moves how you're going there, Gabe. But it moves it to the bench and it doesn't even get a weight. That's an issue for me, that it doesn't get a weight. It just moves to the bench and that's it. And then it can come straight back on. It means it makes it completely useless. If you're trying to move up the board and there's a figure 2 steps away from the entry point, you're not going to be able to get through it using a Z move like Twinkle Tackle because it'll move to the bench and it'll move straight back to where it was and you've used your Z bar for absolutely nothing. Rocket, you used probably one of the biggest spreads of figures out of the team in terms of your variety of figures. You've got the most you used any figure, like there is no figure that you used in every single one of your World Cup matches. The most you used were Lucario and Alakazam. You used them 3 times each. Just have a look. Yeah, no, that includes evolution. So you didn't start with Abra or Kadabra, not any of the other ones. Let's see. Yeah, Lucario, I haven't sorted this by... Oh, sorry, Banette as well. You used them all in 1 duel. So the triple Banette deck, I've counted just... Yeah. So you used 3 Banettes, but you used them all in 1 duel. Let's see. Mew you used twice as well as Primal Kilgrey. Duskmane, Mawile all got 2 uses. Single uses for Marshadow, Lunala, Sableye, Celebi, Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko. Only player... Yeah. And it did well. You smashed Gigs in that one. Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko, only player to use Tapu Koko out of all the Australians. And Dawn Wings only got 1 duel out of you. Only got 1 duel with Dawn Wings. Probably because of that Bennett deck. Or did you not have one early enough? I can't remember. Yeah, that's it. Coco absolutely smashed that one. Hey, that was, yeah. In gathering this information, I've had a look a little bit of the duels, and I think that was right. Seen a little bit of the duels as well, particularly at the end, basically just to fast forward to the end to see who won, which didn't help me much because most of the recordings, unfortunately, the duel replay just dropped out randomly. So I had to go back through all our old chats to find all the screenshots and figure out who beat who and all that sort of thing. All right. Yeah, one of the biggest spreads, 14 different figures across 4 games. Couple of the other guys, true. I could have just looked in that. I would have had to go back through at least one of the chats to try and find the link for that anyway. That was a pain in the butt. It was enough of a pain in the butt to go back through to find the link to the videos. We just talk so much crap. Let's be honest. SHD now, another Discord only, so I don't know him personally, unfortunately. Most consistent team in terms of deck out of all the Australian and, well, he's the New Zealander, but out of our team, most consistent deck. I haven't seen his channel. I probably should. Well, you can see my dog just wandering. Okay, cool. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. So he finished with 2 wins and 1 loss. So a winning record, which is always good. 2 wins and 1 loss. His 1 loss was against Phil in the USA. So, fair enough. But yeah, like I said, most consistent team. He literally used the same team in all 3 of his games, besides obviously Zayatal, who only actually dueled once anyway. So he went with the double Gengar, Marshadow, Poipole, Nagandel, and Venusaur in every single one of his games. So yeah, easily the most consistent. Some of the rest of us, some of the other guys and girls have some massive spreads in terms of variety of figures. SHD definitely not one of them. Exact same 6 figures in all his World Cup matches. Who we got? Mad Dog finished 2-1 as well. 2 wins, 1 loss. His 1 loss was against Sol from Latin America, and then he beat Dats, who was drunk apparently when he was dueling. I think he would have beaten him anyway, to be honest. Joel's a pretty solid player, let's be honest. And Bayak from Mexico, which was a last-minute switch as well. I can't remember the circumstances. I think someone was not eligible or something, and they had to switch from the Mexico team. That whole matchup was just full of drama and controversy and just mess. It was ridiculous. So the win against Bayak. He was relatively consistent. He's got 4 figures that he used in all 3 of his duels: Lunala, Primal Kyogre, Lucario, and Marshadow. And he also used, I guess technically, he used Kadabra twice and Alakazam once. So I guess technically that's pretty consistent. He just started at Alakazam in one of the 3 and started at Kadabra in the other 2. Mew twice, and he swapped. He started with Kangaskhan actually in his first duel, and then he swapped it out and brought in Mew for the last 2, if I remember correctly. So a total of 8 different figures across his 3 duels. In contrast, D Wicked, Keith, also finished 2-1. He used 13 different figures. So we've talked about Rob in his 4 games using 14 figures, but now Keith with his 3 matches, same as Joel, same as Mad Dog, he's used 13 different figures. So he got win, loss, win, Chile, Mexico, and USA. That's a good win to beat Phil in the grand final matchup. That's really good result. Obviously, given what happened, he didn't actually play against Europe because Vixen never got back to him. They never actually had their duel. We got the point because she was too busy, trash talking you and flirting with you and all that, and she just wasn't responding to Keith. Yeah, that's what happened with that. Melissa, Melissa gave us the point because Keith tried a few times to get that. Yeah, good one, Rob. We enjoyed that. Not that it mattered in that one. Let's be honest. We won that 6-0, including that forfeit. But yeah, in the three he got 2 wins and a loss. So I guess if you include the one against Europe, he got 3-1, which is good result. It's a very good result. That's 75%. What was the loss? It was the Mexico game against their Wiz player, just copying Brando's IGN. And yeah, beat Phil in the grand final game. Obviously, was an important one given the final result was 3-3, and that one was actually when the score was 2 games all. His duel was the 5th game, so it was the one that was basically going to put someone in scoring position. So for him to get that one against Phil was just gold for us. I remember when his duel was going on, I was working. I'm a courier, so I was in my car driving around, and I've got the phone up on my holder to, for maps and all that sort of stuff. And the chats pop up, and I see one of them said GG, and I'm like, oh, is that I won GG or I lost GG? What happened? And then I'm waiting. Come on, who won? Damn it! And then Keith's like, oh no, I think it was Phil said I lost. As soon as he did that, I'm like, yes, and I'm whacking the steering wheel and yes, come on, go Aussies, let's go. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, it was a good moment. Had to take a bit of a breather before I went in for my next delivery. I was just around the corner from it as well, so yeah, that was quality. And yeah, like I said, it was an important match. Keith's core was Marshadow and Lucario. He used them in 3 of his 4. He also used Dawn Wings in the last 2. And then the rest was just a spread. Just everything else was just so flexible. He used Sableye, Primal Kyogre, Fracture, Lunala, Vibrava, Duskmane, Poipole, Mawile, Zoroark, and Keldeo. He used all of them once out of his 3 duels. That's a big spread for 3 duels. Similarly, moving on to myself, Kamala K, Daniel, 4 duels, 3 wins, 1 loss, 16 different figures. 1 figure I used in all 4 of my matches, and that was Absol. Other than that, everything else was just a mad spread right across the board. Technically, yeah, I'm pretty happy with 3-1, to be honest. That's pretty good. It was almost 2-2, but that mess with Simi in the Europe match, that could have backfired if he didn't agree to do the rematch. Let's be honest. Yeah, I'll take 3-1 any day. I'm glad I dueled when I did as well, because I've been in horrible form the last couple of days. Been losing, dropped like another 200 points in the league, and I haven't been able to advance my monthly, so I've dropped out of the top 100 for that, and it's just all going at absolute crap. But, important thing, World Cup done, winners. Absol 4 times. I used Abra 3, and I started at Alakazam once in the other duel, so I guess technically I used Alakazam 4 times, but I don't think Abra got evolved all the way through, so I don't know how you... I'm just counting starting teams with my stats. 2 duels each for Mew, Fracture, and Mawile. And then single duels once for Cresselia, Tapu Lele, Curlia, Alakazam, Marshadow, Lunala, Primal, Kyogre, Celebi, Duskmane, Dawnwings, and Popplio. Only player to use Popplio in the World Cup from Australia as well. Yeah, good variety. So yeah, wins against Ares from Chile, JF from Mexico, and Simi from Europe. Fairly low-level players, and then obviously the loss to Dats. I feel I could have won, but didn't. But that's okay. We won in the end anyway. I was pretty frustrated. That was a rough duel. I had some opportunities, and it just didn't happen, which was a little frustrating. But it is what it is. So 16 figures used across my 4 duels. Moving on now to Gabe Perino. So he finished with 4 wins, 1 loss. And from what I saw from the chat record, he probably shouldn't have lost the one he lost either. Hey, Gabe. Went to use Celebi's ability, but hit AI instead, and it cost him the game. So could have been a perfect 5-0. Yeah, 4-1. Yeah, he killed it. He beat Escanor from Latin America, Rosa from Chile, Leishi from Europe, and G Oak from the USA in the grand final. He only lost the quarterfinal match, which was against Mexico. That was his one blemish on an otherwise excellent World Cup, let's be honest. He was fairly consistent with his team. He used Altaria in all 5 of his duels. So Altaria all the way through. In 4 of his 5, he used double Gardevoir. So Gardevoir got used a total of 8 times. And in the other one, I think he was just having fun. He used double Rayquaza. So Rayquaza got the 2. Primal Kyogre used twice, Morwell twice, and then the last spot was a little bit of a floater. Alakazam, Celebi, Mew, Absol, and Lucario all got single uses. So 5 duels and only 11 figures in amongst that. 11 different figures in amongst that. And finally, the man of the moment, Zombie Benjamin, with a massive 5 wins and 1 loss. And the 1 loss, of course, was the one that could have won it for us in regular play of the grand final against Brando. So he was on a 4-0 streak. He beat I don't think it was the Rayquaza deck you lost though. The Rayquaza one you won. It was a Gardevoir deck that you lost. But yeah, you ended up winning with the Rayquazas anyway. So Zombie was on a 4-0 winning streak coming into the grand final, and as he admitted himself, he says he choked that match with Brando, which is really a shame. I know we were all saying no pressure, don't stress. We've already made it this far. We're happy with how we've gone, and it's all true. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, Gabe. I'm with you now. I think he still felt the pressure. Let's be fair. And we want to win. We got into a position to win the grand final. Of course, we're going to want to give it a good crack. And with the opportunity there at 3-2, he could have done it, but he wasn't able to against Brando with that 1 loss. And then he won the one that was important, which was the tiebreaker. And if he won the one before, the tiebreaker wouldn't have been necessary anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So to illustrate what I'm saying about the spread of figures, so I used a total of 16 figures in my 4 games. Brando used the same number of figures in his 6 games. Not Brando, Ben, Zombie. So he used Dawn Wings a total of 5 times. So 4 duels, once he used it double. So 4 different duels he had Dawn Wings going, and one of those 4, he used it, he had 2. He was running 2. He used Absol, Duskmane, Lunala, Celebi, Kadabra, and Morwile all 3 times each. Lucario, Keldeo, Vibrava, Marshadow all twice each. Primal Kyogre, Mew, Mewtwo, Alakazam, and Espeon all once each. Only player to use Mewtwo, only player to use Espeon in amongst his duels. And I guess you can probably say that he used Alakazam a total of 4 times in his duels. He just started at Kadabra in 3 of them. So that's that. That's how we ran. That's the stats for everyone. That's how everyone went. We all had a really great tournament. Let's be completely honest. We won, so that's a good tournament. But it was a great lot of fun as well, and we all had some pretty good individual success as well. Some good winning records. Only Zytel, who only ended up playing the one, and H2O Queen, who had some really tough opponents, ended up with below 50% records. Everyone else, at least one is lost as many as they won, one as many as they lost, except everyone had a winning record, more wins than losses, except for Peter, who finished with 1-1, but was only required for the 2 duels, so we can't blame him that much. Hey, Snortuff, thanks for coming, man. We're talking the all-powerful World Cup champion Aussies. We won the World Cup this morning, man. We're gonna Rob and Rocket Rob and Zombie are going to be broadcasting a little bit later on Rob's stream, so we're looking forward to that. That's going to be great. I'm sure Rob's going to talk to Ben. They'll probably watch the duel on the stream, I'm hoping. If not, they're going to have to now because I've said it and Rob's here listening. Aussies did win. How good is that? The good guys won. The underdogs won. That's what's important. It's always the underdogs. Aussies love being underdogs, isn't it? Check with Rob on that one. I'm sure you're checking with Rob on that one. He's here. He can probably... That's fair. That's fair. What time are you and Zombie going to stream? Maybe in a couple of hours, yeah? This evening sometime? Ooh. Tomorrow night. Oh, cool. So tomorrow night will be the stream, Rob and Zombie. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yep. Sensational. No, that's cool. Yeah. If you care, my St Kilda Saints are beating Essendon by a big fat 22 points, but you're all from Brisbane, so you don't care about AFL. Rebels are going to beat the Reds tonight. You care about that up in Queensland, or at least I hope so. Anyway, 8 p.m. Brizzy. 8 p.m. Brizzy tomorrow night. Awesome. I'm ahead, so 9 p.m. my time. Oof, I gotta stay up. I'll be fine. 9 p.m. is fine. Excellent. All right, I'm gonna sign off because I've got nothing else to talk about. I'm hoping to get a few more Kamala Cam episodes going a little bit more regularly. I want to talk about some other stuff other than just duel. I'm going to be talking about Swans. Aren't you? I'm going to assume you've moved from Sydney originally to Brisbane. I'm going to be talking about some Pokemon things in general. From Sydney originally. All right. That's fair enough. Yeah, going to be talking more Pokemon things in general. I'm going to be talking main game stuff. Hopefully, looking at. I want to try and get some sort of structure into my streams. I'm not going to be able to do anything as pro as Rocket Robin Gigs and those sort of channels because I don't have a PC. I've only got my phone on a tripod, like I'm doing right now. But I'll do what I can, and hopefully, it's going to be something a little bit interesting. So talking main game Pokemon, talking Pokemon in general, talking duel, obviously, because that's my focus and that's what I've, apparently somehow accidentally dedicated 2.5 years of my life and stupid amounts of money to this ridiculous game. But hey, World Cup champion. So, it paid off. Yep. I want to get some more structure into my stream. So I'll have a specific night where I talk about something, and I'll have a specific night where I talk about something else, and those sort of things. I'll keep doing the commentary on the featured duels, particularly when I'm involved or someone I know is involved. I'm not part of a clan, and I don't particularly intend to join a clan. I've never seen the point. But in saying that, given the way this World Cup has gone, being able to talk to the guys the way we have, it's been great fun. So I do see the value of clans now. After that, but I probably still won't join a clan. I'll probably still stay independent, represent myself. Yeah, so I'm going to sign off now because I want to play some Duel. I've been struggling recently, so I need to get some wins, especially with the team match going at the moment. I need to get those rewards up so I can get that mediocre EX Salamence. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We will talk later. Clanless indeed. We'll talk later either on my stream or maybe I'll chat to you on Rob's. Make sure you get around for that. Celebrating Australia World Champions 2019 Pokemon Duel. See you next time.